Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today we're doing something a little different. We're taking historical fragments notes from chroniclers, personal accounts, and we're treating them like a single forensic file.
Mm-hmm.
And the focus of that file is one very specific event, the incredible calculated vengeance of the Mariketh tribes against General Hector Titucius.
Exactly. And we're not just, recounting a battle here. We are trying to unpack the motivations, the power shifts, the sheer calculated cruelty behind a successful act of revenge. And that starts with the two main players.
Okay, let's start with Titucius then. He's this terrifying figure in the Eternal Empire. An Azamite by birth, which is interesting.
It is, because the sources say he wasn't born into that power. He chose it. He, and this is a direct quote, traded in for strength.
What does that even mean, to trade in for strength?
It means he turned his back on his own humanity. He wasn't satisfied with his natural limits, so he went straight to Malachi.
The source of all that imperial power.
The very source. And Malachi replaced his joints, all of them, with virtue gems. He literally became a gemling. And that one detail, that tells you everything you need to know.
He's magically and technologically superior.
Right, but he's also inflexible, hard.
Yeah.
There's this clinical lack of humanity to him. He chose power over flesh.
And that coldness, that's what made him the perfect weapon for Emperor Titus. He gets this assignment to go subdue the Mariketh tribes.
And the chroniclers are quick to point out he took a little too much pleasure in it. This wasn't just a job for him.
No, it was sadism.
That pleasure is the key. His cruelty guaranteed that the response wouldn't just be resistance. It would be a very specific, very personal hatred.
Which brings us to the catalyst, the event that sets this whole thing in motion.
The murder of Sycama Asenath.
The Golden Sekima.
Yeah.
She was the one who managed to unite the tribes, right? Which was unheard of.
Oh, she was so much more than a leader. She was their hope. The tribes had put aside generations of feuds to fight the empire, and Asenath was their, quote, single greatest hope. She wore the wings of Vestiri, the highest symbol of their office, of their unity.
So when Titucius killed her, he wasn't just winning a battle, he was crushing the very soul of their rebellion.
He was, and the sources get so poetic about her, They talk about her arrows having an almost musical rhythm.
Yeah, matched by nearly inaudible whispers, and then just the sound of bodies hitting the dust.
To kill a figure like that, it's not just a military loss, it's a profound cultural tragedy. And it immediately changes the game.
Titucius probably thought he'd won, that this was the end of it.
In his hubris, yes. But his own advisor, a man named Deimos, he saw it instantly. He warned him. He said, you killed their golden Sycama. The Mariketh will think of nothing but vengeance now.
Chilling. So why didn't Titucius see it? An experienced general, a gemling. How could he miss something so obvious?
Because his own power blinded him. He believed his virtue gems, the might of his legion, would just steamroll over something as messy as grief or rage. He don't realize he'd replaced a fractured political resistance with something way more dangerous.
Which was?
A single, unified, focused engine of retribution that wanted one thing and one thing only.
His death.
His specific, personalized death. And so the job of delivering that falls to Sakima Deshret, the Red Sakima. She doesn't waste a moment. She immediately starts making alliances, talking to Vol about military support.
And this is where the story gets in.
Yeah.
Just psychologically brilliant. Her condition for joining Vol's rebellion.
It's incredible. She demands two things. First, the return of the stolen Vestiri Plains grazing lands, which is a huge strategic win.
Right. Practical.
But the second demand, Titucius's skin.
To make a rose saddle.
To make a rose saddle. I mean, just think about that. It's not enough to kill him. It's not enough to defeat him in battle. He has to be unmade.
Stripped of his identity, his dignity.
Yeah. It's a complete ontological reversal. The man who traded his soft human flesh for hard, invulnerable gem tech. Deshret's plan ensures his body is reduced to a low-tech object of comfort for her. His power, his arrogance, literally becomes upholstery.
She understood symbolic victory. But what could the Mariketh actually bring to a fight against a gemling legion? What was their advantage?
The land itself, an intimate, living knowledge of their environment that Titucius's legions just couldn't grasp. The sources talk about their ability to predict the comings and goings of the vast and vicious dust storms on the plains.
They weaponized the weather.
They weaponized the climate, they weaponized geography. Remember that mountain path they used as a trap, the one clear of vegetation?
Because it was hit by regular avalanches.
Exactly. They lured eternal forces right into it. The mountains were just the practice run, though. The real trap was for Titucius on the plains where his technology would mean nothing.
Okay, so walk us through it, the mechanics of this final trap. How did she get him where she wanted him?
It's this beautiful, two-pronged attack of nature and deception. Step 1. Deshret finds a fledgling maelstrom, a huge dust storm that's just starting to form, about a day's march from Titucius's camp.
The weapon is primed.
The weapon is primed. Step 2 is the intel. Vol's network identifies the Imperial spies hiding among the Mariketh, but instead of killing them,
They feed them bad information.
they feed them perfectly tailored false information. A story about a small, potential tribal uprising happening at a very specific location.
A location that just happened to be?
Squarely in the path of Deshret's dust storm. And Titucius, of course, takes the bait. It's a small rebellion, an easy win, a perfect chance to show off his Gemling Legion.
His ego wrote the battle plan.
Completely. He's so focused on his own technological superiority that he ignores the one thing that actually matters: the terrain. He had no idea the plains had teeth, and that Deshret knew exactly how to make them bite.
And the deception went even further, right? It wasn't just bad intel.
No, this is one of my favorite details. It's pure psychological warfare. Deshret takes her personal guard, the Ardura, and dresses them all in identical gear. And as the Eternals advance, her guard takes turns, revealing themselves from different positions, moving quickly. It creates this powerful illusion of
And
speed.
making them seem faster than even the virtue gems could allow.
Precisely. It's chaos. It's disorientation. Before the first blow is even struck, the Gemlings feel like they're already losing control. She defeated the idea of their superiority before she defeated them physically.
It's the perfect setup for the final act.
It is, and the chronicler Garibaldi even gives us a date which makes it feel so immediate. On the 3rd Galvano of Etali, 1333 IC.
The day arrogance met nature's fury.
And the description of the attack is just overwhelming. The tempest comes down with blinding, deafening ferocity. Imagine that. Your high-tech legion, your perfect lines, your communication, all of it is just gone in an instant.
Your advantage is erased.
Completely erased. They can't see, they can't hear, they can't coordinate. Their gemling power means nothing against a wall of sand and wind.
But for Deshret's forces, this is home. Her Akara warriors born and raised in the dust.
They just swept through the chaos. The source uses this visceral image that they were harvesting it like a field of ripe corn. They just moved through the storm and dismantled this static, helpless technological army.
And when the storm passed,
When the fury was over, the Vastiri Legion, that supreme fighting force, it existed only as a multitude of dust-cloaked mounds. They weren't just beaten, they were erased, buried by the very environment Titucius was too arrogant to respect.
and Deshret claimed her prize.
She claimed her prize, and on that day she said something that I think is the moral anchor for this whole chronicle.
What was it?
When a woman forgets how to die, a woman forgets how to live.
Wow. Titucius forgot how to live as a human. He traded his vulnerability, his mortality, for power.
And in doing so, he became brittle. He couldn't adapt. Deshret is saying that true strength comes from living with that fierceness, that belief, in her case, vengeance. Titucius forgetting how to die is exactly what got him killed.
So when we put all these pieces together, what's the big takeaway from this chronicle?
It's a masterclass in exploiting an opponent's arrogance. The Mariketh didn't try to outmuscle the Gemling Legion. They used deception, geography, weather, and this incredibly powerful, unwavering emotional drive to simply neutralize a technologically superior foe.
Titucius trusted in his virtue gems.
Yep.
Deshret trusted in the wind.
Exactly. And the final legacy of it all is it's so perfectly dark. The sources say there is no more comfortable saddle in all of Vastyria than Deshret's.
His failure, his skin, became a permanent, functional object of comfort for her.
His only monument is a piece of low-tech upholstery that reminds his conqueror of her victory every single day.
So what does this all mean for us then? I mean, this deep dive shows pretty clearly that even the most advanced opponent can be brought down.
It shows they can be brought down when your strategy aligns with something they can't control, like the environment, or something they don't understand, like a relentless human motivation.
And I guess that leads to the final thought. If Titucius's greatest strength was trading his humanity for technological power, how often do we fail to see a weakness when an opponent's motivation is just purely and intensely human?
That's the question, isn't it? what force of nature or what unwavering human drive is being underestimated in your own planning just because it doesn't have a microchip or a virtue gem attached to it.
A potent question to end on. That's all the time we have for this deep dive. Thank you for joining us.
My pleasure.
We'll see you next time.